Candace Parker shows true character on Caitlin Clark and WNBA stars. Pay us what you owe us protest. As a first-time host, Indianapolis truly rocked the All-Star weekend. The seats were packed, and the atmosphere was electric. Even without hometown heroine Caitlin Clark, fans showed up in numbers. WNBA-related signage was visible all over the city, in the airport, on the streets, with the city putting up specialty street signs for all 13 teams. The city was fully geared up for the biggest All-Star game the league has ever seen. However, what unfolded was a rather disappointing display. The game itself was a blowout, as Team Napheesa Collier defeated Team Clark 151-131. There seemed to be a clear lack of competition between the two teams, with Team Collier taking a double-digit lead in the first quarter and never looking back. This was an anticlimactic end to what had been an incredible weekend. Reflecting on the game, Candace Parker candidly remarked to Aaliyah Boston on the Post Moves podcast, "Aaliyah, I'm just going to be honest with you. The game was awful. The game wasn't just a display of how far the league has come. It also involved a message from Caitlin Clark and company. The All-Star squads wore plain black t-shirts with a simple but clear message written on them. Pay us what you owe us." On a day when the league garnered the most attention, they took the opportunity to start serious conversations regarding their pay or lack thereof. It united the fans and was intended to put more pressure on the league during ongoing CBA negotiations. While Caitlin was not on the court, she was at the forefront of this message. However, yet, Parker took issue with the contrast between the powerful statement on the shirts and what she perceived as a lackluster on-court effort. She said, "But y'all cannot come out there with those shirts of, 'Pay us what you owe us.' Pay us what you owe us, and then do that in the All-Star game." By that, Parker meant the half-hearted performance from both teams. With new, funky rules like the 4-point shot, live substitutions, a 20-second shot clock, and the elimination of free throws until the final minutes, the game felt even less serious. The players appeared to be conserving energy and not taking the game seriously, which was reflected in the outcome. Aaliyah Boston defended their approach, saying, an All-Star game where we have another game in 2 days. I think it is okay to just go out there and hoop and have some fun." This was a consistent theme among many players after the weekend. Even Breanna Stewart said something similar. "If we want the product in the All-Star game to be better, then we have to have more time in between the games." The condensed schedule worsened the season, with an added team and 4 more games packed into the same span of months. Candace Parker further explained her stance. "It wasn't the fact that you're doing something to prove why you have to be paid. I think it was just an opportunity for me on one of the biggest stages with those shirts being worn." The 2025 WNBA All-Star Game averaged 2.2 million viewers on ABC, a slight drop from last year, but still the most-watched game without Caitlin Clark. Even those not watching the game tend to follow the event as much as they can. When casual viewers see a scoreline between supposed top players that wide and one-sided, it leaves a bad impression. Parker emphasized that it was an opportunity to differentiate themselves from the NBA All-Star Game, which has received similar criticism in the past. If the women had gone all out, the narrative would have flipped on the NBA. Regarding the schedule, Parker acknowledged the situation, saying, "I understand that it is challenging. You all were added 4 to 5 games more this season without compensation, which is unfair." However, she maintained it was a missed opportunity. "I just think that it would have really maximized the moment of wearing the shirt along with giving the product." The shirt was a strong statement, but the league has already been under scrutiny for the quality of basketball compared to the NBA. Many new eyes were on this All-Star game, eager to get into the league and understand the hype. Instead, they were met with a casual game that felt more like a lazy pickup game played in the neighborhood with no stakes. That, combined with the demand for better pay, led many skeptics and trolls to mock their demands. It certainly diluted their message, as this image will remain prominent among non-WNBA fans. Parker concluded with a laugh, "'Cause I tried to watch the All-Star game, I'll be honest. But after one slow Euro step and people pulling up for the 3, I was like, I can't. I'm a fan of the WNBA and I can't watch this." So I just think that no, you all didn't have to, but I think it was an opportunity that you could have built on, like more momentum, if that makes sense. Rather than having a problem with the message, Parker was completely supportive of it. But the way the players handled the situation was the concern. Public perception hinges on moments like these. The WNBA might have positive attendance numbers, increasing revenue, a new media rights deal, and everything going for it, but the public has a short memory. They rarely tune in every week to understand the fuss because, if the best players couldn't impress me, why would others? Candace Parker holding players accountable is a positive sign for the league's development. After 16 incredible seasons, Parker stepped away from the game to focus on her family and new roles in broadcasting and business. My main priority is being there for my family, she shared per AP News. Even after retirement, Parker remains the same when speaking about the game. As a player, she was a great communicator, leader, and competitor who was willing to pitch in at any spot on the floor. Now away from the court, she remains a tough critic of the game and someone who is tough but fair. She is not one to get caught up in the echo chambers of either the fans or the players. Parker draws in neutral fans with her sharp basketball IQ and ability to expertly break down the NBA, WNBA, and college hoops. Having witnessed the WNBA's rise firsthand, she knows that growth invites tough, sometimes critical, feedback. As a seasoned veteran, her voice commands respect from players, and fans revere her as a true legend of the game. Parker brings honesty and authenticity, straightforwardly tackling questions. She is critical of the game without any personal animosity towards the subject she is speaking about. She is raising the standard of WNBA coverage. Even if you don't agree with her, she is receptive to the arguments put forth.